Good evening and welcome to the Real World tonight. Chaf Zayin of the Ateres of the Heilige Tasher Rebbe Shalom Fein for Amadcha. It's certainly impossible for somebody like me to adequately, in a few minutes, try to convey about what this man who would have been a Rebbe 200 years ago, who nobody understood, who lived and left this world without anybody really even scratching the surface of what he was about. Tell you something over. I heard from Rosh Yeshiva and Tash said over how Yerushalayim Yid, a Talmud Chacham, came into the Tasher Rebbe for money. And Tasher Rebbe had a pile of money on his table. People came in for Yeshuas, for Pidyanis. We know that the Rebbe's brachas and the Rebbe's eitzes, his advice, worked wonders for people. And there's a lot of money on the table. But the Rebbe's own meisters were always near bankruptcy, and so all that money was needed for local things. So the Rebbe would hide some of the money, because he knew that if he wouldn't hide it, the Gavayim would need it for this or for that, to pay this bill. So he would try to hide some. He would hide some. He would hide in his shoes. He would hide here. He would hide under his hat. So he could help people with that money. He would squirrel away money to give people. This person came in. He said they're making chasna. The Rebbe didn't have any money left to give him. The Gavayim had taken it. So the Rebbe said, "What are you learning?" So he said he's saying shir on Masechtas Beya. The Rebbe said Beya, very geschmack of Masechta. How do you understand Taisus on Tesvav from the Taisus in Megillah? There's a Taisus in Megillah that seems to be a stira to Taisus in Beya. So he said, which Taisus? So the Rebbe told him the kashas. He says, ooh, it's a good kasha. The Rebbe says, I want you to go look up the Taisus in Megillah and see if you could find me a teretz. So he says, okay, I'll get back to the Rebbe. The Rebbe gave him some money that he had on the table. And this Yerushalayim Rosh Yeshiva left. As he's leaving, the Rebbe says, no, I want you to look up the Taisus in Megillah now. Don't wait. Come back with an answer now. Don't wait. Don't push it off. The Rebbe says, don't wait. Fine. So there's a shas right outside in the waiting room. There's farm for people who wait. So he takes out the Megillah, and over there, on that daf, where that Taisus is an envelope thick with cash that the Rebbe had hidden there, and he understood that was for him. So the one who told me the story said, the ga'inus of the Rebbe, to find, the seed was learning Beya, to find something in Beya that brought him to Megillah is one thing. The tzidkus of the Rebbe, that he had this way, the generosity to give him the money is also one, but that they should meet. Such generosity and such ga'inus in one person, that's a chiddush of the Tasher Rebbe. I just want to end off with a personal offer to anybody who's still watching, even though we're probably already around the 3-minute mark. I heard this from Rabbi Matis Friedlander. It's a tzaddik. He built an organization called Refuah V'Chesed here in Montreal, medical referrals and medical services for Yidden. So he told me over that one night after the Tasher Rebbe was nifta, the Heilige Rebbe came to him in a dream, and he said, if somebody comes in and needs help tomorrow, Yid, you should do your best to help them. He always helps Yidden, Rabbi Friedlander, that's what he does, but it was an interesting thing. And he woke up in the morning, he forgot about it. The next day, somebody he didn't know called him up, and they wanted a meeting, and to make it long story short, this person needed some kind of scan, some kind of x-ray to happen, and they were having trouble getting the scan that they needed. So they asked Rabbi Friedlander for help. Rabbi Friedlander said, I'll try it. Let's go down together to the x-ray lab. He was in the hospital, and he went down, and Halei Davahu, unexpectedly, the girl working there was somebody who Rabbi Friedlander knew well. She used to work for another doctor who he was close to, so he had a relationship with her. So he was able to ask her a favor, please. So she says, really, you have to book these scans weeks in advance, and there's no opening, but I'll tell you a secret. 6 o'clock in the morning, they keep that slot open every day, the first scan of the day for emergencies. Tomorrow it's still open. If you and your patient are there 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, I'll get her the scan she needs. He says, great, let's book it. Next day at 6 o'clock they go, and they found something very, very scary in this woman. Rabbi Friedlander arranged for surgery. The doctor couldn't do it. He was going on vacation. Rabbi Friedlander begged him to do it before, and Baruch Hashem, he did it, and the woman was helped. She's gesund and stark. Something lands in Rabbi Friedlander's mind when he asks this woman and her husband, you connected to Tash? Because he remembers that the night before, the Tash Rebbe came to him in a dream and said, please take care of Yid comes to you tomorrow for help. And this woman was helped, Shalai Kederach HaTeva, almost miraculously. It was clear that there were gates in Shemaim open to her. So they said, no, we're not Tasha Hasidim. They weren't Hasidim at all. So he said, do you have any connection to Tash? They said, no, not really. But the husband of this woman said his wife wasn't feeling well, and they were worried that something was wrong with her. And the doctor suggested going for an x-ray. So he went to daven by the cave of a certain Chashav Yid who's buried in Saint Sophie, north of Montreal. When he went there, he realized he's passing Tash. He might as well go into the Tasher Rebbe too. So he went to the Tasher Rebbe's tea and he davened for his wife there, even though he had nothing to do with Tash. And that night, the Tasher Rebbe came to Rabbi Friedlander in a dream and said, please help her. From a Yid who wasn't a Tash Chassid, who went to his caver. I plan to go to the caver tomorrow on the Ateres Shimon. If there's anybody who wants to send in a name or anything, I'm the littlest person who could bring over your bakashas, but that's what makes me a good shliach. It's just I won't get in the way. If anybody wants to send a name through the administrator of the chat, it would be the biggest cover for me to bring those names to the Tzion tomorrow's Chusay Yagen Aleinu.